I'm here in Medjugorje and I'm with, what's your name?
Seth.
Seth, where are you from?
I am from Louisiana, USA.
First time here?
First time here.
And how was the experience so far?
It was great so far. It's just such a peaceful place and just such a glorious place. We've waited so long to come, and it's just been everything we've hoped it would be.
And did you have any special graces for you personally?
Any special
graces?
Yeah, one of them just walked by, my brother. We've been after him, and not that I'm the greatest Catholic in the world, but we've been after him to come back into church and to really get more into it. And it's been fun watching him grow in his faith, and that's where my graces came from this trip. Yeah.
And you said you do catechism classes
yes.
in the United States of America.
Been teaching confirmation class for 32 years now. Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Can you explain a bit, you know, what is the beauty of the Catholic faith for you?
To me, it's just all about faith, and I've just found out through all my life that if you follow that faith, things tend to work out for you. But when you get off the path, it's when things start going haywire. And we all wonder what's going on, but we don't know. Well, a lot of people don't know that if they just get back on that path, or the closer you get to the path, the better everything works out for you. And the places like this, and just learning to live a good pious and holy life, and getting rid of all of the clutter that we have in our country. I mean, there's so many toys that get thrown into everyday life. It takes us away from what we really need to be doing with our lives.
So you would say the secret is thy will be done?
Oh yeah, thy will be done. Yep, and follow that. It's easy to say, and we as human beings, we get scatterbrained. We lose that focus, and we have to keep things like that in our minds constantly, in order to get back again on that path, like I'm telling you.
And you feel when thy will be done, God's will in your life, that you have more peace and more joy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you if you give it to Him, you don't sit there constantly and try to work everything out yourself. We human beings we can't do it. You have to be smart enough to know you're not smart enough. Is the way I look at it. Yeah.
So you made the same experience, like this morning said, I have this challenge, God. I hand it over to you, and it's written in the Bible. God is fighting for us. Be still, I am God, I fight for you. You made the experience that way of thinking and praying is well.
Yeah, you pretty much give it to Him, but you let Him guide you, and you don't really contemplate on how bad it's going to be. And look, again, every day I sit there and I let it worry me. We tend to let it all get to us too much rather than just giving it to Him, and you just realize that before you know it, it's over with, and He took care of it. It's not something that we really need to stress about and worry about. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
And you have a personal relationship. That's the center of our faith, to have a personal relationship, to experience the living God of Israel and the nations, as He's called officially.
Yes.
And how can they have this personal relationship? What would you tell people who are searching?
I would just think that you have to put time into it. You have to give it. You can't just wait for it to come to you. You have to go and look for it. You have to work on building your faith and learning about your faith. And again, basically, it's having faith. I mean, just knowing that you have little or no control, and you have to understand that He has control. We're not smart enough to figure all of this out. So you do what He tells you to do, because He knows. He's the creator. I heard someone say a while back that, if your car was broken, I think Matthew Kelly said it, if your car is broken and you want to know why it's not working, you go to the guy who engineered the car, who made the car, and that guy will show you how to work the car. God is our engineer. He's the one who made us, who engineered us, who fashioned it all out. So why not go to Him? He knows, and He tells us how to live, but we tend to try to do it our own way, and that's when we get off that path.
But a lot of people think, I have the impression, that God the Father is an angry old man with a white beard and waits to judge us and put us to hell.
Yes.
And you talk about a different God, I think.
Yeah, it's an agape God. It's a God of love, and we have to understand that everything He does and everything He puts in our lives, it is for us, and it's for us to find God's love. we tend to look at this earth as the only thing, and this life is too short. It's not everything. God is so much more than what we just experience in these 70, 80, 90s, whatever he blesses us with.
It goes fast, no?
Yeah, it
It
flies. It flies. That's right. I'm 61 years old now, and it seems like yesterday I was 21. And that's when and I think as we get older, we realize that we're out there when we're younger and we're running and flying and on that rat wheel, like I call it, and we just got to get off that wheel and see what God wants us to do in our lives, and not just put it in our own terms, in our own ways, and not just do things that we want to do, and just we got to look at doing it the way he wants us to do it.
That's so beautiful. So you would say prayer means it's like this personal conversation with him. It can be a phone when you wake up at night.
Yeah, when you're riding in the car. I mean, he's there with you. You have to understand. And Ignatius always said it. St. Ignatius and the Jesuits always say it. Find God all over the place. Ignatius was famous for that. Find God wherever he is in the world. You find God in the trees, in the sun. You thank him all day long, and you thank him for the graces and the blessings he's given you that day. Even when it rains, he's cleaning everything. And that's how you got to look at things, and that's the way I think a good Catholic and a good Christian should look at the world and look at our lives.
And confession is very central here in Medjugorje. My
Sure
spiritual guide says if you confess, the pipeline, the connection to God is much clearer than.
Oh yeah.
What would you tell people? A lot of people are scared to go to confession, especially maybe after a long time.
Yeah.
What is the beauty of it?
Again, it's trust in God. God tells you that's what you need to do. So if he tells you that's what you need to do, then why should you doubt? Why should you fear? Because there is no greater feeling than walking out of that confessional when you've thrown everything up, when you've given it all to him. And a good friend of ours, Father Mark Beard, he always said, just go in and regurgitate. Just throw it all up. And once it's like spilling your guts. It's spilling your stomach. You get out of there and you feeling his graces and his blessings, and you got a new life and a chance to start over and try to do it right the next time. So that's what I feel about confession.
And Pater Pio says that the Rosary is the weapon of these times.
Oh yes.
Why is the Rosary so powerful?
What
is it for you?
I'm going to confess, I haven't been a big Rosary sayer, and I kind of regret it now. Of the 32 years I've been teaching confirmation, and again, I've got a lot of ADD going, a lot of ADHD going, and I'm always flying all over the place. And
me too, yeah.
And just saying the Rosary to me is just, it just takes a while. It's my mind is all over the place, but I'm learning a lot more about the Rosary here in Medjugorje, and I've always told my confirmation class that, the Rosary is a tool. We have a bunch of tools that we've been given throughout our lives through the faith and through the Catholic Church, that you use that one tool and it might be good for you. It might not be good for me, but I'm learning here how big a tool it is, that it's a much bigger tool. And I'm starting to realize that I need the Rosary to calm down and to kind of level things out in my life and not be as scatterbrained and as out there as I need to be, as I am normally. So. And
Our Lady also talks about to read the Bible more often, not to leave it in the corner.
Oh yeah.
What does it give to you to read the Word of God?
The Bible is our instruction manual. It's how we live. It's what we've been given to live by. And if you don't know it, how do you live a good life if you don't read the instruction manual? It's what we've been given, and our church is somebody who's interpreting the manual for us. It's not, we hear from a lot of Protestant churches and a lot of non-denominational people that just the Bible, and God wouldn't throw. I use it as when you have a teacher in a classroom. The teacher doesn't just walk in at the beginning of the school year and throw the book out and then leave, and leave it up to you. The church is our teacher, and we keep going back week after week and day after day to learn what's going on with that. So that's just kind of the way I look at the Bible as a whole. That it's a constant, it's a living, it's a growing thing that you could look at it, think about it when you're reading something. If it's something that you're involved in, I'll use an example. I was remodeling an old house, and you take a book, and today you can read that book, and something will pop out of that book at you because that's something you're dealing with right now. But a month from now, you're finished with one little project and you're moving on to another one, and that book will show you things that are relative to that day, and that's what the Bible is. You can read it today and then read it another day and something else will pop out at you. So you don't just read it once, you have to live it. You have to constantly read it,
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Fasting, is that for you difficult?
Never did it before. I had stomach problems, and it was always something that I shied away from, but I'd like to start getting into it when I get home and things kind of settle down and ease into it. And I've just been hearing so much about it here that everybody does it, and it just brings so many graces in your life. So I've got to try it. It's biblical, it's there.
It's so beautiful how you
that's
say
right.
the
Yes.
Rosary, wasn't your thing.
Yeah.
But Our Lady says pray from the heart here, so it can be each prayer. For me, lately the Rosary also not so much, but prayer from the heart.
Exactly.
I think of people,
Yeah, exactly. And again, just calm down and try to clear your mind and get everything out and let it speak to you, basically. So.
And the Eucharist, the center for
Oh, yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
What does the Holy Mass, the Eucharist, represent for you?
Well, if God said it, it is, and He said that's what it is. It's sad to me how people can take the Bible and look at some parts of it and believe them, but then tell you that God couldn't. There's no way that could be God's body and blood. But God tells you.
Nothing is impossible.
Straight out, it's right there, and nothing is impossible to God. These people will tell you that nothing's impossible to God, and yet they can't believe that. It's just impossible for them to believe, but that's where faith comes in. You have faith that He can do anything for you, and He could make anything, and He can do anything in your life that you need done. And if He gives you the Eucharist and says, take and eat, this is my body, and you'll have salvation from it, how can you deny that? To me, it's undeniable.
And for you, the favorite place here in Medjugorje so far?
Favorite place? They're all good. It's we did Cross Mountain. It's its own thing.
Was it tough for you to get up there?
It was tough, but it was. We had a big group with us, so there was some older people, and we did it really slow. And the stations at the cross are there, so we stopped and prayed each station, and it wasn't that bad. It was cold. We did it on a cold and windy day, but it wasn't that bad at all. We're gonna go back to Apparition Hill this afternoon. We're gonna. Our tour guide is going to take us through the fields of Medjugorje like he did when he was a youth, and kind of take the shortcut to the hills. And we're going to Vika's upstairs bedroom where she had apparitions, and so
that's
yeah,
on the plan today.
On the plan today.
And
yes.
what at the end?
It's our last day. It's our last day today.
And what
yes.
would you tell now at the end of your pilgrimage? Why should people come to Medjugorje one time?
It's, again, I think I said it earlier, that it's, we're learning how to relive our lives, how to do it the right way. I think, again, I said it earlier, that we've got too many toys in our lives. We've got too many distractions. And this place just puts everything, it circles around the churches in the center of town. You've got things that's what your mind should be on all day long. It shouldn't be on the struggles and everything that goes on, and the toys that we have in our lives and in our country. We in our country, we put everything before what needs to be put. The Eucharist and God and our church should be, our utmost priority, and we just don't do it. We fill our lives with all the distractions, and you can't do that. You got to push the distractions aside and reprioritize and get straight with your life, and that's what we hope to bring home from here.
Thank you so much for that
You're welcome.
interview.
Good. Thank you.